All right, everybody, welcome back. We are going to be getting into our next game. Hopefully, going to be an exciting one to get into. I was so excited, I thought it was earlier. But it's Izako Boars up against Ence. I'm, of course, Scriv. Joining me yet again is going to be Mitchman casting. Beautiful man that he is, as I kind of screwed that word up. But, you know,
Yep.
it's been a good day. It's been an interesting day. It's been a hard to follow day, right? There's economy changes all over. We saw in the first
Uh,
game it really didn't have an impact. In the second game, in the first half, it was really interesting to see, you know, how both teams were able to keep bouncing back. But then into the second half again, it does seem that it's not having such a big effect that if you are the better team, you are still going to come out on top. You know, it's not just a case of they can cheese you with continuous force
mm.
like full buys. Um,
Well,
I've
if you're
not
the
seen
better
any
team,
Mag Sevens actually. I'm really sad about that. Sorry to
yeah,
interrupt,
we
but
haven't.
I'm really sad
I don't
about
know.
Mag Sevens.
I think the thing is, right, if you're the better team, you should be winning at the full buys. I kind of get where Valve are coming at it, in that regard, that, like, it makes BO1s a little bit more important. Hold on, this is interesting. Ariel's not bought any armor, so he's going to go for the AWP early on to try and grab that. Alexi B catches that they're all towards the A-bomb site by pushing in towards main. He hears the steps in Squeaky as well. Ariel's smoked off, though. There's nothing he can do. Alu tries to go for a flank and gets torn apart, and this is Izako. Boars off to a very strong start. A two-man advantage. Bomb going to be planted in just a second, and although Sergey picks up Tesic, the thing is, it's a very difficult retake to make happen. They also have a flank coming in through middle on the Izako Boars side, as Patatek is creeping on up.
Oh, what I've got. Nice. Few kills. Okay, very quickly. Swings in the way of Izako Boars. But for me, one of the more interesting teams in MDL. Obviously, a fairly big named brand, I would say, behind them. And for me, I feel like they have really good fundamentals. I'm not sure if you've cast them at all before or whatever, but I think they have some really fresh ideas. It just seems they are severely lacking in the firepower department, to be honest. So, you know, there's a lot of players in the Polish scene right now that are a little bit free and available. You never know. Maybe rely on them a bit. We'll see here, though. Mid-rush is going to come on through. It should be fairly quick to end, and it is indeed. Not much coming. Only the one kill in Alu's hands. And we'll now probably see the spy come through. Yeah, okay. So they are going to go for it. This is where, obviously, things become a little bit scarier for Izako Boars. Because Ence, I mean, just coming off a great run at the Major, an incredible run. Like, I mean, understatement of the year from me. But, like, this has got to be a scary opponent right now that you're facing off against. Surely you are quaking in your boots with this one.
See, with Izako coming in so early on and minimal reinvestment into this round, they've already built themselves up a decent economic standing. And the thing is, Ence, on the other hand, they're not looking too bad either. The strat from Ariel to take no armor obviously hinged on them winning the first two rounds. They could have then had the AWP for this buy round in third, and it definitely want to set them apart, set them up as put them in a little bit of an advantageous position. Oh, Ariel switches to his nade just a little bit early, but it goes in. That's a lot of damage done. Spray down comes through, but only one kill to be found on the back of it. And now they're looking to find a little bit more. But it doesn't look like it's going the way of Ence just yet. Into a 4 versus 3. And Izako, you know, right now they've got the bomb plant, they've got the flank again through middle, and Ence have just been ripped.
I was going to say, a really key kill in the middle to find. Going to make it very hard on this retake now, as you know they have to worry about that mid position. They're obviously quite far down. Sergey, though, brings it into a 1 versus 2. But as you can see, you know, he's spending time in at middle, panicking, really not sure, and the 10-second time are going to pop, no chance for him. Will find another kill, but ultimately has to back away and concede. So Izako Boars doing a really good job to work the early advantage that they got. They do actually lose all their players, which is certainly interesting. As you see, Tsek and Matty 1, 2, 3 are a little bit on the poorer side. So there is that to consider. But yeah, I mean, it's a good start. It's a good start. I was really expecting Ence to just be like, okay, rifle round. We're going to just, you know, finish the game here, to be honest, boys. Because there's just such a skill discrepancy between these two teams. I think that is glaringly obvious. But like I say, some really good fundamentals from Izako Boars. Maybe they can prove myself and everybody at home watching wrong. We'll have to see. They do lose the first man, but they gain D control for it, and the continued aggression coming through is looking pretty good. They'll try and clean things up here over on the B-bomb site. It's a little bit awkward as Alexi B is in between, but Matty, perfect timing, and I think that pretty much will spell the end as Sergey, again in a 1-on-3, again does have the AUG, but he has to find all these 3 kills very quickly indeed. He's actually kind of gained control of the B-bomb site back, but it's craziness all over the shop, and it will be a 4th for Izako Boars in the end.
Tessic got lit down by his teammate there. That was almost awkward, but I think that prompted Tessic to turn around, at which point the spam started to come through. But it worked out well. It was like an indicator. Why say behind you when you can just shoot your teammate in the back? They'll turn around anyways. We're now into a... That would have been beautiful if Sergey accidentally tasered one of his teammates. Like, he scared me for a second. Yeah, he's taken the kind of knife out of spawn to a whole new level. But for now, Izako, you can see they're spreading over towards B with just one player. It's going to be Navrot. The rest of the team over towards that A-bomb side. They've dropped the bomb. Oh, okay. Not towards B, not towards A. He's off the server. Bit of a DC, Polish internet. Oh, maybe not. He's back very quickly. That's hardly net. Click the wrong button, maybe?
Could maybe go for a stop here.
No damage has been done
sure
on the ground.
Yeah,
So-
I'm not sure if it counts, right? Because I guess technically there's been like 100 points of damage. But they don't seem bothered. They don't seem to care. They're like 5-on-4, easy, mate. Gonna try and take control of this A-bomb site. Doing a pretty good job as well. Really good, quick utility usage. T-Sec to pick up 2 as well. Izako Boars continue to impress, as it will be a 3 versus 2. Certainly a doable one with low HP on T-Sec, but going to be tough to get back into this site. You know, they have very little control. Using the utility well, though. Great flashbang to follow up as Sergey will take down Nisik. It now makes the 4 HP T-Sec even more of a problem. Is that Spatatek? Patatek. Alright, okay. He's really confusing me with what was going on there. Nonetheless, they're going to take the round. T-Sec comes through, gets his 4K. I hadn't noticed that he had changed his name so much. And then it's also, you know, a lot of teams like Ence, right? Do like Ence. You got Ence, full stop. Okay? Because Boars just continues into their name, and it's a little bit hard to keep up with in the crazy moments.
Yeah, I think so. Going through the names on the right on Izako, I think it's Navrot, Neeks, Tessic, Patatek, and Matty. Feel free to let me know in chat if I assume there's always Polish fans following Izako all the time. So let me know how many of the names I've butchered and how it should be pronounced. And obviously we know Ence. We know how to pronounce all those names. I think Neeks is one of the more recent additions. Last time I cast Izako, he wasn't there. So he's new to me. I've not seen these guys for a while. I think it's about 2 months or so. But they've always been a good team to watch, you know, always putting up the good numbers, like you said, Scriv. They've got some good fundamentals. And moving in on the 5-0 lead. I mean, Ence right now are starting to fall behind a little bit. They're getting a little bit scared. They're going in for a push towards the T spawn very quickly. It's a very weak buy, you know, as you expect in this situation. Rocking in with a couple of UMPs, a couple CZs, seeing what they can do. And oh my god, they're opening the round up. They've got a man advantage. They picked up 2 AKs. Neeks does manage to get a trade onto Sergey, but still those 2 AK-47s in play.
Yeah, this could go either way. Ooh, looking away at the wrong time. T-Sec probably could have picked up that kill. Going to go for the reface, though. Again, doesn't really seem to care. However, they're both so low here. This is really doable for X7, and his timing is perfect, as he is creeping in to what would have been behind them. But now he's kind of inadvertently in front of them. And maybe they've played this well to just slowly wait. They've got, you know, a minute remaining, but he will spot out the bomb, and there it goes. Nisik, unfortunately, was not in any good position to trade. Going to try and fight to regain this bomb. Pretty easily able to do so because of the utility. But again, that 1 HP, this is going to come down to, you know, him finding a positional advantage on his opponent. The straight up 1 versus 1. I really do not see X7 messing this one up. So it does look good right here for Nisik, to be fair. You know, the open plant on B, as it's an incorrect read from X7. Obviously now going to know that it's B, and it will depend. Is he going to clear all his angles? Is he going to walk in, you know, facing the wrong way? Because that is pretty much the only way that Nisik wins this one, I feel.
X7 has his back turn, but again, there's just no peek to come through. Oh, the flashbangs missed, but again, so low HP, they're running around the corner spraying works perfectly.
No time.
Problem is, there you go, time's too low. The yellow jacket sadly didn't get to sting and win the round as Izako Boars find themselves again ahead. And it's, look, these guys are doing a great job. I mean, so far, sure, the rounds are close, but it's not making all too much of a difference. 6-0 is 6-0. They're feeling very good about how they're rolling into this, starting it out in the T side. The thing is, I think Ence is going to be a whole different beast over on that terror side. And the more rounds that Izako can build up now, the better.
Yeah, I mean, we do have to bear in mind, I'm pretty sure that alongside Nuke, this is generally the permaban for Ence, as far as I'm aware. And in a lot of matchups, you know, they are able to ban it first because, you know, teams don't like playing Nuke for the most part. So there is that to consider. Yeah, like you say, there's a few things that come into it. I think they have a slightly stronger T side, but you've got Alu on the AWP, of course. Could make the difference if they opt to go with it. Not necessarily required on the T side of Cash, but it is where that individual aim can really carry you on through. But then again, it can on the CT side as well. When people are sort of walking into your crosshair, in theory, it's a little bit easier to pop their heads. So it's still surprising to see that Izako have been performing so well early on here, and continuing to do so.
I wouldn't count Ence out of this. Like the last time that Izako Boars played against Sprout, for example, on Cash, they won their T side 11-4, and then lost their CT 12-1. Lost the game, of course, then 16-12. So they have a really weak CT side historically on this map. Certainly in the last couple of games, they've fallen down massively there. So we need to look towards it. You know, almost every time that they play on their CT side, they're only picking up like one round at a time. Actually, just one round. And in the last 3 games they've played, they've only won one round in each game on their CT side. Now, some of those were only 5-round CT sides, but like against Sprout, that was 13. So right now, if Ence can manage to pick themselves up, you know, 5-6 rounds overall, they'll be feeling good. That is a bit of an uphill battle, certainly a difficult task with how consistent the Izako Boars have been at closing this out. But like I said, 11-4, and they ended up losing the game, but with only finding one CT side round. This, especially with how proficient we know Ence are on the T side, it could certainly see a big change to the scoreboard when we swap over. You got to remember as well, this comeback mechanic on the economy isn't necessarily going to come into play for Ence at the moment. They've seen no advantage from it because they need to win a round first, and the full buys not going their way, force them down to, again, a pretty weak economy. They've got to take pistols out, and they need to just figure out a way to rework this. Izako are hitting them with a lot of force. They're winning out those opening aim duels. And oftentimes on Cash, it can seem like the T-side has a bit of an advantage. It's maybe one of the only maps where, you know, seeing a T-side win isn't like a travesty. But at the same time, you do not want to see them this far ahead, 7-0, as the underdogs already. I'm still looking to Ence as favorites if I can see them win about 5 rounds. Just knowing how weak Izako are generally on the CT side here.
Still though, don't want to give them too much room. They need to, I feel, find something soon. It is getting into relatively dangerous territory where, you know, again, Ence, I think in a matchup like this would definitely benefit from these new changes, but still, we have seen perhaps lackluster results from the new changes. Not quite as spicy as we thought it was going to be so far. Either way, B-hit going to come on through. It was an advanced position from Sergey. We'll give the information to the rest of the team, but I don't really think they're going to be able to get here fast enough to really make too much of a difference. Alu with the M4 falls. It's an easy bomb plant and probably an easy post plant. These are the types of rounds where you can say, sure, pistols could catch you off guard, could retrieve a rifle with the armor. But once the bomb goes down, you've got no utility, no positional advantage, weak weaponry, no kits. You know, the list goes on. It does become very, very, very hard for you to retake in a round like this. So, yeah, they're just going to save the AK that Ariel retrieved with his kill and the M4 of Alu that got dropped in the vents, luckily for LXB. So we're going to back away, and there goes X7 trying to find an exit. Pretty clean from Izako Boars, though. They are looking really good. I think they realise what kind of a position that they're in, and with how well this game is going for them, that kind of boosts your morale, boosts your confidence in the fact that you're like, wow, this is second place at the major, and somehow we are, you know, pulling it out. Our cash must be really good. Let's keep this going. And it's a bit of a different vibe that you have when you're in a game like this and when you're doing so well.
Well, that's it. They've got the momentum building up. Like I said, I still hold out hope for Ence. This being a map they don't play, you expect their CT side to be weaker. You expect the Izako Boars to perform well on the T side, as statistically they generally do, winning at about 70 to 80% of their T side rounds in general, but it's the CT that they just get demolished on. I think it's somewhere around 20% of CT side rounds they win. It might even be lower than that. If you consider the last 4 games they've played on cash, they've won 6 rounds on CT side all together. So coming into this, look, they're winning their T side, they're smashing. I want to see something come through from Ence here. They need to figure themselves out to get a couple rounds on the board, because as bad as Izako might be on the CT side here, you give them a 15-0 half, and they're not going to throw that away. That's for sure. So we really need to see them change something up. They're going in for this 2 versus 4. Neeks is getting burned alive, spam through, connects it. Sergey finds one onto Navrod as well. Now they might actually want to go for this. They have a little bit of time to work with. The nade could be huge here. Oh, the wrong spot. Maddie's going to go down low at least. Tessic is taken down. Maddie goes in for the peak. Almost a double spray down. My heart almost jumped. Is there time without a kith? I think so. Yeah, he's got time to get that defuse, right? Mm-hmm. Finally around on the board for Ence.
Fought long and hard. And again, it's going to be tough for them. It's fairly costly. They don't survive with many players at all. Just the one will mean that they have to spread the wealth here, and I think it's going to be tough to do so. I feel like Sergey is going to feel the burn, right? Or is there an M4 somewhere? No, there's an AWP, in fact. Okie doke. So there is that. They had quite a lot of money, it would seem, available to them on a couple of players. So a double up setup comes in. That's a great nade, though, onto Alu early on. 3 damage, pretty much. And now this is the true test for Izako Boars. Can they, you know, stop the momentum? Can they keep it going? And again, it's going to be against the, in theory, continual buys. It does depend. Again, that CT side, it's 3,400. Still not going to, you know, benefit from it. So...
Well, they've lost
certainly
one.
Interesting.
They've lost 1 loss bonus, so they'll be on 2,900 in the next round, which pushes Ariel and Alu to a point that they can't buy if they lose this.
Right.
Or at least they have to take the FAMAS out, right? So it's not a good spot to be in. And again, Izako just winning out these opening duels again and again. Their entry success rate is what's surprising me here. Generally on the T side, they win about 50% of the rounds they open the duel and then manage to close out the round. And yet, somehow they're consistently finding the openings here and consistently closing out the round so far. Literally one round out of 9. But like 18% they've managed to lose after finding the opening duel. It's pretty good.
So it doesn't... I'm just trying to think. So it's not like you win a round, a loss bonus is removed, right?
1 loss bonus, yeah. And then you get that.
But then it doesn't... Okay, so it doesn't move back, like add 1 when you lose the subsequent round.
No, yeah. So you're on. So if you're on a 4+ loss bonus of 3,400 and you win a round, you go down to 2,900 if you lose that round. So you're stuck on 2,900. If you lose that round, then you get 2,900, and then if you lose another round, you get 34.
Are you sure, Chief? Because
yes,
Alu, I swear, had no money, and then he comes in with 3,500 on this round.
Pretty sure. Am I wrong? 34? Okay.
I haven't. Oh, okay.
I could.
Doesn't really
very
matter
well
so
be wrong.
much.
Misread it, I suppose.
I mean, well, this is the thing. I haven't done like the deeper reading into it. I'm just kind of going off of how the game is working, and it's literally the day after, right? It's going to take people a little bit to adjust. I think what it is it's a case of like, if you win 2 or 3 in a row, you're not having your loss bonus immediately reset. So if you have some close-ish rounds, you know, if you save on your round that you lose after winning 3 in a row, you kind of have a little bit more loss bonus.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So I was based on one of the other
it's hard
games.
to follow, right?
Yeah, for sure. And the thing is, we don't have the score line on the Esea, so you have to kind of follow it on in your head or on HLTV as to how many rounds they've lost. So the thing is, so if you lose 4 rounds, win a round, you go down. It minuses 1 to 3 loss bonus, but then when you lose that round, it treats it as if you're still on a loss streak, so pluses 1 to 4. That's confusing as hell, but Ence are maybe pulling back around. Let's take a look at it. A 2 versus 1 turns into a 2 versus 0, 9 to 2, which means that if Ence lose this round, they get 3,400. We think. It's 1 day. It's not even a day old yet. Okay.
I know. The chat's gonna be all over the place with this, but I think they themselves are just as confused as we are, to be honest.
Well, that's it. It's going to take a while to get used to it. I mean, so far we've not even seen meta change in terms of the AUG being bought up. In terms of a lot of the shotguns haven't really made an appearance as much as we thought maybe they would. Pistol buys, certainly we do see a little bit more force buys, I think, and a lot more gun rounds. But in terms of the actual weapons people are buying, it's still in the same lane. It probably will be for like a month or so. It's going to take a while for teams to really adjust their playstyle.
Well, unfortunately, in this round, it's not been going so well. That's a really nice shot to come in from Patatek. Ariel, the only one left now. They know exactly where he is. Don't give him too many fights. They kind of look like they wanted to move in to eliminate him, but they do savvy up, move back towards the A-bomb site, and an advanced position from Matty. Okay, wow, really playing it safe. Don't think he quite noticed that Ariel, had pretty much no idea that he could have been at car so fast. Was looking in at middle. Probably could have gone for the reface, but perhaps it would have been risky, Like I say, playing it super safe. We'll see here. Ariel, 1 versus 3. Essentially a 1 versus 2, though, immediately on the site. He's got a little window of opportunity before Nisik moves in. But I think it's kind of now fallen by the wayside. Unfortunate, dink for dink, but obviously that AK going to come out on top. 10 to 2 then, as Izako Boars weather the small storm that Ence were trying to, put together, and they will not allow things to get out of hand. And now we see this loss bonus come into play a little bit, as I believe it was about 2,900 to come through on this one. And that allows them,
it was 34.
After winning. Okay, it was 34.
See, we're all doing it.
It's a little bit hard to keep up with.
It is, right? It is hard to keep track of. I saw a great tweet by Rops about you better allow the Windows calculator because we're going to be tabbing out to calculate the money every round. I love that.
For sure.
Okay, Alexi B gets away with 1. Like, opened up by Izako yet again, but down to a 2v4. We've seen Ence pull it back in this position. They haven't got an AWP for free kills. The 2 M4s as well. It means you have to take the fights, and the problem with allowing Izako to deal damage in fights is that they'll just be able to chip away at your health. Even if you win an opening duel, if they can deal 50 or so damage, it still puts them statistically in favor, as you've only got 140 HP to take all these fights. Izako taking it very slow. They know that they're up against a decent threat, and they don't want to take things too risky, take things too quickly. Ariel. He's backing off in the middle, eventually going in for the peak, but he's spotted out. Patatek wins the fight, and now only 40 HP left on Alexi B, who's trying to win a 1v4, and he doesn't know that, of course, there's still a pesky player, Neeks, with an AWP sitting outside of B, waiting for Alexi B to creep forward. And creep forward he does, but takes the head off of Neeks and an AWP on offer. Potentially going to go for the save, but... And yeah, Izako Boars probably won't really hunt at this stage either, so the save of the AWP is probably a good call, considering 3,400 in the next round. He can offer a drop over to his teammates, but hold on. Patatek wants to hunt. He knows it's an AWP being saved, and he drops down, eliminates Alexi B, saves over the AWP for his team. And again, this is so convincing for Izako Boars. They played against Sprout, like I said, 11-4. They won their T side, and then they lost, finding only one round on their CT side. A 12-1 scoreline saw Sprout winning that game 16-12. Up against Ence, it's going to be a very much of a difficult road for them. But I'm starting to believe now, with 11 rounds on the board, 2 still to be fought for, and again, a weak buy on Ence, having to take out some SMGs and FAMAS. Only got one real heavy rifle in play. It's definitely not an easy comeback anymore for Ence that I thought it could have been. I wanted to see them with about 5 rounds. Now 4 is their maximum, and their economy is not allowing them to get, you know, a full buyout as such.
Yeah, it's been a tough one. Again, we're not really seeing, especially on that CT side. You know, we've always said in the past the loss bonuses don't make a huge difference, right? So it's interesting. It's gonna maybe change things up. Maybe you have a couple players who opt not to buy utility or as much, so that they have money later on. Maybe teams decide to save much earlier on in rounds. You know, like a round like this, you could possibly begin to save right now, especially if you lose this player over here. It's you know, move away. But then they don't, because Sergey wants to win the round, and a great little push in towards A main as well will secure a man advantage for Ence. So theory crafting, but maybe it isn't needed, as ultimately, you know, it is a game about shooting, and Sergey is doing it brilliantly. Another headshot comes through for him. Low HP on Tsek as well from finding an earlier frag. Alu, though, not so sure about that one. Certainly known for his crazy antics, but that was an unwise move. A bold move, perhaps, is the best way of putting it, the nicest way of putting it. Leaves the rest of the Ence players in a 2 versus 2. Alexi B and Ariel both coming in from different angles. Tsek's still low, but they have very little information to work with. Alexi B will get it. We love the wall bangs. Now Rock trying to hold things down, trying to keep this Izako Boars lead as insane as it is, but unfortunately not able to do so. I mean, an 11-4 is the best they can hope for on the Ence side of things, but apparently that's a winnable scoreline, you know, given the precedent. But we'll see. There's still going to be money here for Izako Boars, still a chance for them to get that 12-3 half.
I love it. I love seeing those little wall bangs coming through and keeping Ence in the game. You know, 11-4, I think, puts us... in general, I would say, like, this is Izako Boars walking away with it. I think based on their performance on the CT side, though, I still have a little bit of doubt. Certainly, they managed to lose to Sprout, like I said, after 11-4. So let's see what the situation is now as they come into things 11-3. If Ence can find another round, they could be on course to repeat exactly what happened to Izako Boars up against Sprout. Already managing to deal a lot of opening damage. Walked him through the smoke. Alu didn't see him, turned his back. And eventually, spun back around to find the kill. Into a 5 versus 4 return there. Navrot takes down Alexi B. Moving over towards the A bomb side, but shut down by Ariel. Izako Boars trying to make things work, but there are a lot of players on low HP. Alu gets taken down. Nice shot by Patatek through the door. As Ariel still trying to hold down. In main, manages another kill. That's a second in the round into a 2 versus 2. Neeks is very low on just 1 HP. But he's got an AWP. The potential to find the kill is certainly there. As X7 creeps forward, Patatek's watching it, and there's the head gone. X7's taken out. We're into a 2v1. Sergey's got to pull off the clutch. Patatek creeping around the smoke. Looking for it, and he finds it. 12-3. The most convincing T side we've seen from Izako Boars in the last month. But like I said, in the last 3 games that they've played, we've not seen more than 1 round on their CT side come through, with one of those games being a 13-round CT side. And 12-1 loss. So will they be able to connect 4 up against certainly the favorites coming into this by a long shot, but ends with only 3 rounds on the T side? That's not nearly, on the CT side rather, that's not nearly enough. You can give them the benefit of the doubt, say it's a map that they don't usually play, but with it being a map that they don't usually play, how much do we expect to see them improve over on that terrorist side?
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be interesting to see. Maybe they've got other plans. Like we said, and I'm now kind of thinking it certainly is the veto process. It's sort of start of the week. You send out what you want to veto, and you pick 3 maps. The other team picks 3 maps. If they clash, so be it. And then a map is randomly selected. So they must have left cache open for this particular game, and it ends up on cache. So it's
I can kind of see why though. Like, if they looked at Izako Boars recently, they'd be like, all right, there's no way in hell they want to play cache against us. But with it being a map that you don't play as Ence, you'd imagine it would just go straight out the window. Maybe they thought they were better on an individual level.
I mean, it's also a kind of, online, they're doing pretty well. They've got a lot of games because they've been playing in so many offline tournaments. They've got a lot of games to catch up on. And maybe there is an argument for, we got some new ideas on cache. Let's give it a go against what we believe to be a lesser opponent, right? A much lesser opponent than we'll be playing against in these many offline tournaments we are probably going to get invited to in the next 6 to 8 months. So it's perhaps a little bit underestimating their opponents a bit, I think, with this one, combined with trying to work on their cache. Either way, quick bit of action towards B from Sergey. He does a lot of damage onto Patatek. There's 3 players at B, though. So they do want to be careful here on the Ence side, and I mean a quick rotation from Matty as well could very quickly make this difficult for them.
Izako only have one player on the A-bomb side. Sergey out there with the 1-taps to start it off. Takes a second reload. He spotted another player on the bomb side as well, and he's looking forward. He finds a 3K. Peeking the one little doorway in checkers. 3 kills. The A-bomb side got completely swarmed as well. And that's how you close a round. 12-4. Ence open the pistol round, but again, it's such a hefty request from them, really. You're expecting them to have an almost flawless T side. Izako Boars will probably lose this round coming in with only the USPs. But how much damage can they get done is the real question. In a round like this, you want to drop a couple of weapons, but it doesn't look like Izako will be getting all too much out of the hands of Ence, as we're into a 5 versus 2, grouping up, going towards the A-bomb site with the bomb. So Izako just got to try take down one player at least with the USPs. They're stacked up on B, hoping that someone walks by, but it doesn't look too likely.
No, it's a shame that they don't get to see any action. But Ence, closing the gap slightly, giving themselves a bit of room and confidence, momentum, all that kind of stuff to get back into this one possibly. But Izako Boars, I mean, it just needs 1 or 2 successful early rifle rounds and the game will probably be theirs. They do need to be careful, though, if they, allow this economy to build up and starts to look a bit scarier. Suddenly Ence are in a position where they can stomach a couple of losses. And like we've said, this is a dangerous combination right now because Ence, good T sides, Izako Boars, weak CT sides. So it's kind of, a recipe for disaster, perhaps, especially for the Izako Boars, and a recipe for success, I suppose, for Ence. But nonetheless, we'll see here. First rifle round to come in. Only 1 AUG. Interesting. But you have to look at the money as well because of the recent price increase. They wouldn't have had as many smokes as they now have. So it's again, interesting to see how the game is developing in recent months. Alu, though, very aggressive play. Very lucky to survive. I mean, he failed the jump. If he'd have landed it, he might have died. So, luck on his side, it would seem.
Here's some of the things we talk about. Ence coming into this as a bonus round is a little bit risky. Izako have got themselves a full buy. There's an opening kill as Navarro takes 1. Flashbang coming in from Neeks. He doesn't have another. X7 gets up close somehow, manages to find that kill. M4 picked up. He's going to drop a Molotov towards... No, he's not even. He's just going to go out for the fight. Bit of a mistake because he gets taken down. Izako Boars looking good to claim this round. Headshot onto Alexi B. Still goes out and manages to find 1. Dangerous with his MP7. He's looking towards heaven to find some more heads to pop. Not able to find it, but he will just plant the bomb for Vents, where his teammate is holding down in Checkers. The spam going through does damage to Alu, only down to 50. Into a 2 versus 3. Izako Boars haven't got any utility to make this retake work. Meanwhile, Ence have got 3 flashbangs. Let's see what they can do with those. A nade as well in the hands of Alu. It's hard to deploy it. They're all coming in from heaven. Alexi B's looking there with an AUG. Finds one. No second kill to follow it up. Alu has to make it all work for himself, and he's taken down by Tesic. The defuse, possible, probable, and almost inevitable. As it's 13-5 for Izako Boars right now. Things are looking up for the Poles. Ence, I didn't expect to see them fall apart so easily, but they've got one more chance on the full buy here. Like we said, the last round was being played as a bonus. Izako Boars survive with 2 players. Their economy is in the dirt a little bit. They're taking out an MP9 on Navrot. An interesting one. He could have afforded to take a FAMAS without utility.
Yeah, well, a utility, a supportively minded player, I think is what I was trying to aim for there. And yeah, it is interesting to see, and you can just kind of see the little things as well, showing like the excitement. You can tell that Izako Boars, their hearts are in this one. Tseki finds that clutch, and then he just kind of like jumps, panics a bit before he gets into the site. You know, it's really, really good stuff. However, 2 quick kills going to come in here for Ence, perhaps putting a end to the hopes and dreams right now of the Polish side. An early advantage, and they're going to encroach on towards this B-bomb site where there is only Neeks waiting, and he tries to take an early fight. Unfortunately, he's not ready for how far up they have pushed. So now a 4 versus 2, and it's going to be a 4 versus 1, as Ali will find that kill easily enough. Patatech also falls. Maybe an argument for run away and save there, guys, rather than try and go for the crazy 2 versus 4. So that's certainly a little bit confusing. You mentioned, you know, their money is terrible, and we now see, as they lose the round, that Ence have actually got a chance to, once again, close this gap. You know, it's still a long one, a wide gap, I guess, but all the same, it's looking a little bit more doable if Izako Boars aren't able to consistently string rounds together.
That's always been a problem for them on their CT side, stringing rounds together in general outside of a pistol win. They've not been able to do it, and should be walking away with another round on the board here, which brings it 13-7 and definitely allows for the comeback to play into things. Yeah, there you go. Patatech goes down. Navrot manages one on the bomb side, but he'll be overwhelmed eventually. 13-7 on the board. You get Izako Boars coming into this round with a lot of money in the back pocket. Approaching 5k on most players. And so investing into full utility, or full armor rather. The 5 sets of armor, or Kevlar. You've got 4 rifles, an AWP, half utility. Some players have got a set, some players only just with a smoke or a Molotov. It's not the worst for the CT side. But they're relying heavily on this AWP. I think Neeks has to be the big game changer for them here. Find themselves some openings. And over towards B, nobody's peeking them just yet. And the thing is, Ence have generally been approaching the B bomb site with lots of utility usage. Even when they went in there on the bonus round with the SMGs, there was lots of util being used. So I'd question Neeks' real impact potential with that AWP early on the B bomb site, pending a rush, or rather ruling out a rush from Ence. There is no way he's really getting anything done in the first minute, and that's what you see coming through. And that's where we look towards Sergey. He's sitting in checkers. You've got Alu as well, moving over towards the B-bomb side to support. We've seen a lot from these guys. You know, Sergey especially has been working checkers really well, but now he's peeking into an AWP, which makes things a little bit more difficult. It looks like Ence may be angling towards that B-bomb site. They've taken mid-control. They've certainly pushed up in B. The bomb now gravitating over there, so certainly we're going to see what Neeks can do with that AWP in just a couple moments.
It'll be interesting. There's a bit of action, though, through the smoke, I believe, there at Highway. That forces Neeks to go for that peak. Left on 2 HP here. The flash not really successful. They've not really pushed up. Navrot, though, beautiful shot from him. Neeks as well going to capitalize. And the rotations have started to come in as well. I believe it's Matty on high. Going to be a good distraction. Beautiful play coming through. It's all down to Alu. 3 HP on the Deagle. He is looking at the heads but not quite finding them. The nade is well going to finish him off as soon as the plant comes in, surely. Indeed, easy stuff. As Izako Boars will get their 14th. And it does seem that, you know, they are deserved of this win. It's looking really, really good at the moment. Ence are getting shut out, to be honest. Yeah, Izako Boars are the better team right now on cash. So we have found a weakness in the Ence machine, it would seem.
I'm trying to think, like, normally you would say, okay, maybe, you know, Ence come into this, they don't know anything about Izako, they haven't counter-stratted them, whatever, and Izako have counter-stratted Ence. Ence don't play this map, so that's not a possibility. I would, looking at this matchup, I mean, same as the betting sites, I'd favor Ence time and time again, just on the individual skill level, but this is nuts. I mean, we talked about Izako Boars at the start, and you kept saying, Scrib, you know, they've got that fundamental counter-strike down, and certainly, I can't argue with that. Into a 4 versus 5 already. Ence on the back foot. A man disadvantage to work with as they make their way towards A. And on the back of a very, very strong T side, Izako Boars are on the road to victory. As Ence trying to make this push work. They're pincering A. Coming up short, coming through main. And it's now or never, really. They can't afford to lose any more rounds at this point.
Ooh, nice little trade from X7 as he will find both the A players there. It's a 3 versus 2, but they're kind of locked out. X7 taking this round firmly by the tail. As it's now back into a 2 versus 2 that definitely should not have happened. He's going to go for another peek as well. No flash comes through, but good damage onto Navrot. Locking them out of the site. They're panicking. Great shot from Alu as well as it's the leg from Neeks. Ence might just steal this one away, and this is obviously what we know them for and what we expect from them against a team like Izako Boars, as X7 will find his 4K. A fantastic 2 versus 5 comes through from Ence.
Absolutely. My God, I didn't see them coming back into that. I thought Izako had it locked down, and now you can see their economy is under threat. They're only going to get a couple pistols out. Is even Armor going to make an appearance? No. Armor nowhere to be found on that CT side. It sort of means that they probably won't go for a win in this round, even if they find like 1 or 2 kills and pick up rifles. They'll probably just go for the save, because the thing is you're running then with no armor into what could be Gun Kick City. Oh, surely not through the smoke. Sergey knows his angles so well.
Nasty. Yeah,
Pad attack. Not long for this though. No, he's gone. He's out. Sweet dreams, a good night. 14-9. Ence. I mean, they're closing in this gap now. But I don't know if I want to give up on Izako Boars just yet. You know, they've got the full buy. Sure, they lost that 5v2, but was that just a once-off massive performance for Ence? Or is that going to be something they can consistently rely on, that individual level of skill?
Double AWPs this time around, though, I think is going to make that difference. But it is kind of getting into dangerous territory, you know. Ence come alive off the back of a round like that, it could be really good for them. But, of course, perfect flash. Navrot going to capitalise beautifully. Whoa, aerial though, it's still there. You know, the easy dry feed comes through, but not checking your angles. I think this is summing up this game. The overconfidence from Ence again coming through will cost them 2 players there. A 4 versus 2 now. As the bomb will slowly make its way in. They're pulling out a few flashes and things, showing that they do have it, but... Oh, okay, Alexi B. T-Sec does really well to find that trade, as it was a great frag from the Finn, but Alu now the only one left. Surely not on 15 HP. No, he will get spotted out by Neeks. Again, it's close. It is by the skin of their teeth. But that round, I feel like, should have been Ence's. They got, you know, that good first frag, but then just immediately running in, back turn towards Car, alone. You know, sure, there's a guy at Car, but you need to at least be flashing that angle, at least be going in together so that quick trades can come through. It's just messy. It's just disrespectful from Ence, I think.
Yeah, I mean, you know that there's not a whole lot of presence in mid at that point. There's a player on Car. You're taking a gamble that there was only one A bomb side player at that point and that nobody rotated up short to play towards Fork, which I think is pretty standard considering the fact that they've given up that mid control. Now, with trades going in at the start, at least Ence again looking a little bit better towards the start of this round. You've got Tasic alone towards the A bomb site. Navrot starting to make his way over onto that angle on truck. Neeks is coming in as well. I don't think he's semi-contemplating peeking towards the middle. They don't check him close. Matty gets 3. He mows them down. X7 is last alive. 15-9. What a way to lose a map. Unless X7 can pull off a nuts clutch, Matty has just beaten Ence for his team. He's won the final round with a 3-piece. X7 cut off by a Molotov, has to rotate in through the vents to try and pick this bomb up. Matty's low, so he could catch him falling without the potential for a trade. He has to go for it. Oh, but Matty finds him. A 4-piece to finish it off. What was that? Oh my god. That's Ence. I mean, it's a map they don't play, so you have to give them that. But they made the veto. They had a chance to get rid of it, and they didn't. And Izako Boars, my god. Sure, the CT side wasn't going well for them, but they just had such a convincing T side. There's nothing you can do about it.
Yeah, it's just crazy. It's really good from them. You know, you have to hand it to them. You can give Ence all these little, caveats as to why they lost, but ultimately they are, on paper, the better side. And they got a little bit dominated, to be honest, for the most part. It's really, like we've been saying the whole time, surprising to see, and really good from Izako Boars for me. Again, I've been kind of a fan in a sense, because they do have that good fundamental Counter-Strike, that good team play, but just lacking in the firepower. And maybe this gives them the confidence, to move forwards. And it shows clearly that they are capable, of performing well. They're not just a random kind of pug mix team that have made it through advanced, into MDL, luckily, that kind of thing. So I think it's really, really good from them showing these signs of what they are capable of, and maybe bodes well for the future.
For sure. But what we got to do before we find any more Counter-Strike games today is take a very quick break. We've got to jump into one more game. I think we've only got the one coming up. Griff, it's Expert Vitality.
Can you remember who it is? Okay.
Expert Vitality, right? And
I believe so.
LDLC Vitality.
LDLC.
Okay.
I wasn't quite sure what first team you were saying.
I knew we were covering Vitality, and then I looked at the game and it was 14-10, and I was like, oh damn, are we that late? So that makes sense. We're going to be taking a little break then while Vitality finish off their game. Then they're going to be coming back and taking down LDLC. We've got a couple messages coming from our sponsors, and so we'll catch you guys back here in a couple of minutes for LDLC Vitality.